Okay, after last night's video, I'm curious. Had a few people, I had some great comments. Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to set this up for 72 EXL LP, or excuse me, LGX, JGX, LPX. So the recipe for that is 25-degree angle, 10-degree tilt, 60 degrees for the head. So we got the tilt, 25 degrees, and oh gosh, 60. There's my profile on the wheel. I don't know, it won't focus, but I mean, you see it's. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do the one recipe that I like to use where I've got a little bit more tilt to the head. And again, like when I said, you know, you've got all the adjustment in the world. So we're going to run these in a very unscientific fashion and see what the factory grind will do and see if there's any improvement with a little tweak. Okay, here's what I got using the factory recipe. I tried very hard to duplicate the tooth profile on both sides, left and right, made the appropriate adjustments to get some consistent results. And I just took enough off of this brand new chain just to make sure that I made full contact with, so every piece of that metal right there is, you know, part of the fresh grind, but just enough to make sure that I made a full profile cut. All right, let's try a little something different. All right, got another fresh loop on the grinder. No tilt, 25 degrees, and I increased the head angle to, that's 50, yeah, to 50. Sorry about that, guys. I'm leaning over back behind the edge. And let's see how this does, and I'll show you the finished product. Pretty significant difference. And yes, I know that won't stay sharp nearly as long as that, but if I wanted to cut all day long, I'd use slow semi chisel. So anyway, let's see how these do, and I'll go ahead and spin up a loop of just off the roll H47. This is skip chain, by the way. Okay, so I've rolled up or spun a fresh loop, untouched, Husky Oregon H47, which is just full chisel, full skip, 9-pin rim sprocket on this old beater right here, Solo 665, which is not very stock and is not 65 cc's any longer. This is an 81 cc top end, so it's got the 7910 Dolmar top end on it, and she's modified. All right, so here's the off the roll stock chain that hasn't been touched. And yes, I have to drop start this. It's got a little too much compression. The idea. All right, so we've got the ground to spec Oregon chain on the Tech and Beck grinder we just featured. Two things. Don't forget to throw this thumbs up if you like the content, and the other thing is the gist of making this is, can we recreate out of the box by using Oregon's recipe? Okay, so let's see how this stacks up with right off the roll. And then finally, you know, can you tweak your own little grinder to make a faster cutting, better chain? All right, thank you. Let's go. Kill switch on this is backwards to most saws. Threw chips all the way up underneath the shed. That 9-pin rim sprocket really hauls the mail if you got the power to run it. And just to bear in mind, I am cutting hickory, so you know we've got a pretty dense hardwood. Growth rings on it are nice and tight. That was a yard tree at some point in time. But this is when we actually added 10 or 5 or 10 more degrees of tilt to the head, to the motor head itself, and had no tilt with the pedestal, the vise. Sorry, I don't get to play with that too often. Had to make a couple extra cuts. I don't know, it's hard to gauge. You got such a small stick of wood. Okay, so I went back and reviewed the slow-mo replay. It looks like both of the ground chains were just a tick faster, and there was a gnat's ass difference in between the head angle and the tilt and no tilt thing. Again, not uber scientific, but it was just to see if you get your grinder dialed in, can you get great results and actually get better than out of the box sharpness? And the answer is yes. So again, I hope you enjoyed that, and have fun with your grinder. Try a few things, and the only thing that really matters is not what's said on the internet, but what you can do in the wood. So if you like it, run it. Anyway, thanks again, y'all.